Assalamualaikum. Let's start off with the Captain Joey's illustration on how the landing gear works.
The landing gear as well as the landing gear doors are controlled electrically but operated hydraulically, which is pretty obvious when you take a closer look and spot this large hydraulic actuator attached to the main gear strut. Now the green hydraulic system delivers the hydraulic force to the retraction actuator to raise the gear and keep it in its uplock position. Now there's an easy way to spot that the green system is in charge of the landing gear. Now if you look at the hydraulic quantity indicator on the hydraulic page on the ECAM, you can see that the green system has a higher quantity than the two other systems when the gear is extended. Now why is that so? Because once the gear is extended, the retraction actuator is fully compressed, so the hydraulic quantity level rises. As the gear is being retracted, most of the hydraulic fluid and pressure is needed to push the gear upwards, lowering the level of the hydraulic quantity. Now this is important. The landing gear is pushed upwards, not pulled upwards. This is a big misconception right there. On older models, the green hydraulic system is also used to support the Nosewheel steering. On the newer models, the Nosewheel steering is powered by the yellow hydraulic system. Why that matters, you'll see in a minute. Now, to cover the electronic part, it's still an Airbus at the end of the day, the extension and retraction cycle is controlled by two landing gear control and interface units, LGCIU, providing the necessary data to the ECAM, the Electronic Centralized Aircraft Monitoring, for the landing gear, indicator panel and other related systems. Now think of the LGCIU being the conductor of an orchestra. It ensures that the steps follow in the right order. Now once the landing gear lever is placed down, the LGCIU opens the landing gear doors first, then the gear extends. Once fully locked in, the LGCIU is informed and the closing of the landing gear doors is initiated, and so on. Now the only controls you have in the cockpit for the landing gear is the landing gear lever, the Nosewheel steering tiller and the gravity gear extension hand crank. Indications concerning the position of the landing gear are to be found on the indicator panel and on the ECAM wheel page. You're now probably wondering what this handle does of the gravity gear extension. Now, as you all know, one of the key elements for flight safety in aviation is redundancy. Every system is backed up by one or two similar systems or by an alternative method to cover a system failure, and therefore on the Airbus A320 we do have the landing gear gravity extension system as the alternative method to lower the landing gear in case of a landing gear malfunction. As we discussed earlier, during normal operation the landing gear is controlled electrically and operated hydraulically. So the cause for landing gear malfunctions can either be hydraulically or electrically, and in a very rare cases we can also have a mechanical problem. So let's imagine you are on approach and just extended the landing gear and this happens. The ECAM is requesting us to perform the landing gravity gear extension checklist. So when applying the landing gravity gear extension procedure, the weight of the landing gear itself is used to lower it independent of the nature of the landing gear malfunction. Now to lower the gear by gravity, the flight crew must pull out the gravity gear extension hand crank and turn it clockwise 3 times. And there's obviously a reason why you have to crank it 3 times. Now, on the first rotation, you shut off the hydraulic pressure of the green hydraulic system to depressurize the landing gear systems by mechanically moving the cutout valves. Now just picture a cable attached to that hand crank which you are winding up and therefore pulling a mechanical cut-off and vent valve. This is necessary as the hydraulic pressure is used to raise the gear, not to lower it. That's what I meant about using hydraulic pressure to push it up and keep it up in the locked position. With the second rotation, winding up another cable with which you mechanically release the landing gear doors up locks. Now this is where the trap door of the water slide comes into action. A lever which is connected to a piece of string is pulled, releasing a trap door which is pushed down by the weight resting on the door. And with the third rotation, you unlock the hooks holding the landing gear up, and the landing gear literally falls out of the wheel bay due to its own weight and with no resistance from the actuator, as we have depressurized the hydraulic system on the first hand crank rotation. Now, after the third rotation, there is a mechanical stop. And speaking of this hand crank, doesn't this movement remind you of an old coffee grinder? It's called the Airbus coffee grinder for a reason. Now, and coming back to the nose wheel, as it extends rearwards, aerodynamic forces easily push the gear into place and into the locked position. Now, due to this procedure, the landing gear doors stay in the open position as we depressurized the green hydraulic system previously, meaning in case of a go-around, you wouldn't be able to retract the gear anymore. The landing gear doors then show up in amber on the landing gear page as the LGCIU is missing the signal from the doors being closed. Also, after applying the gravity gear extension procedure, the Nosewheel Steering is not available on older A320 models where the green hydraulic system is the power source for the Nosewheel Steering, meaning that after landing, the plane would need assistance by a tow truck to vacate the runway. Now, on newer A320 models, the depressurization of the hydraulic system does not affect the Nosewheel Steering capabilities, as it is powered by the yellow hydraulic system. I have to admit though, it is luckily a very rare case that the landing gear gravity extension had to be used. If so, you can spot the A320s who used it, like this EasyJet A319 approaching runway 24 in Prague. The pilots were struggling with some landing gear indication issues, resulting in performing the gravity gear extension checklist or procedure shown by the open landing gear doors on approach. Now, if you were having a really unlucky day and the landing gravity gear extension procedure is not successful, the next step would be to continue with the much longer checklist, the landing with abnormal landing gear procedure.
अभी आपके सामने विजुअल डिसेंट पॉइंट की डायग्राम शो हो रही है। इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि मिनिमम डिसेंट एल्टीट्यूड ये वो पॉइंट है जहाँ पे पायलट ने डिसीजन करना होता है कि उसने लैंड करना है या गो अराउंड करना है। जब पायलट को ये पता चला कि उसके लैंडिंग गियर ओपन नहीं हुए, उसने डिंग 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 की आवाज़ भी सुनी, तो उसको चाहिए था कि वो इमरजेंसी डिक्लेयर करता, और जिसके ऊपर जब जो एटीसी टावर है वो अपने फायर टेंडर की अरेंजमेंट्स और जो प्रोसीजर्स हैं, फोम डालना, रनवे पे फोम डालना, वो सारा कुछ अरेंज करता और जहाज़ को सेफली लैंड करवाता। लेकिन आई डोंट नो क्या हुआ कि पायलट ने ये डिसीजन ले लिया कि उसने गो अराउंड करना है। अब उसने एक मिनिमम आप कह सकते हैं कि उसने बल्कि टच डाउन ही कर लिया था, जिसकी वजह से उसके इंजन्स स्क्रैप हो गए थे, और उसके बाद उसने फिर दोबारा थ्रस्ट को ज़्यादा किया और ही ट्राइड टू गो एट 2000 feet and then come back and then try to establish on ILS, and then he tried to land, but it was unfortunate कि वो altitude attain ही नहीं कर सका और उससे पहले ही क्रैश कर गया।
वन मोर थिंग, एटीसी टावर में जो ऑपरेटर होता है उसका भी ये काम होता है कि वो बाइनोकुलर से ये देखे कि लैंडिंग गियर ओपन हो रहे हैं कि नहीं हुए हैं। इफ़ ही सी दैट कि लैंडिंग गियर ओपन नहीं हुए हैं तो वो उसी वक्त पायलट को बता दे कि आपके लैंडिंग गियर ओपन नहीं हुए और यू हैव टू डिक्लेयर एमरजेंसी और डू द नेक्स्ट प्रोसीजर। पायलट को ये भी चाहिए था कि अगर इलेक्ट्रिकली आपके लैंडिंग गियर ओपन नहीं हुए तो उसको वो मैनुअली ओपन करवा लेता। जैसा कि आपने कैप्टन जोइस की वीडियो में पीछे देखा कि उसने लीवर को 3 दफ़ा टर्न किया, जिससे थ्रू ग्रेविटी आपके लैंडिंग गियर ओपन हुए। बट पायलट ने ये भी नहीं किया। Now let's listen to the conversation between the ATC tower and the pilot.
We are comfortable now, and we are out of 3,500 for 3,000. Established ILS 25 left. Sir, we are established on ILS 25 left.
So you are 5 miles from touchdown, distance passing 3,500.
What?
Clear lane 25 left.
Roger, Pakistan 830.
It 9878 report Met B. Contact Tehran 120.3. Good day.
Going round.
3 report reaching altitude 3,500 feet.
For Pakistan 8303, we would like to come again for ILS 25 left.
So descend left heading 110, climb 3,000.
Left heading confirm.
From left heading 110, climb 3,000.
110, climb 3000, Pakistan 8303.
8303, you are jumping altitude 2,000.
Sir, we have just give me 2000.
So maintain 2,000. 8303, most charging showing 1800 feet at descending.
Copied, sir. We are now trying to maintain, sir.
And 8303 approach.
Ji, sir.
Appears to be sending left.
We'll proceeding back, sir. We have lost engines.
Confirm you are carrying out belly landing. Runway available to land at 25.
Roger. Clear, Mayday, Pakistan 8303.
Pakistan 8303, Roger sir. Both runways available to land.
जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि एयरबस की टीम कराची पहुंच चुकी है। नाउ दे आर गोइंग टू कलेक्ट ऑल डाटा फ्रॉम एटीसी टावर, वॉइस रिकॉर्डर, ब्लैक बॉक्स, maintenance checklist, maintenance forms. Everything will be taken by them, and then they are going to give a final investigation report.
I am not giving any final decision or conclusion, but इसमें जो सीरीज़ ऑफ मिस्टेक्स हैं वो आप देख सकते हैं कि पायलट के अलावा एटीसी टावर, उसके अलावा मेंटेनेंस, ये सब की आपस में कोऑर्डिनेशन होनी चाहिए और बेहतरीन कोऑर्डिनेशन होनी चाहिए ताकि आप इस तरह के हादसात से निजात पा सकें। अल्लाह ना करे ऐसा कोई एक्सीडेंट दोबारा हो, लेकिन हमें इससे सीखना चाहिए कि हमने क्या क्या मिस्टेक्स की और यही हमारा मकसद होना चाहिए।